I got NFTs, I got NFTs. Baby, I'm no fungible, it's wonderful to me. Say a little bit ringing, cause the money calling me. I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs. Not fungible, wonderful, got pineapples on me. Pineapple the gang, and it's pineapple the tea. I put my rice in the OMI, I run it up with my bromie. Spent a little bag on Ethereum, best believe I got the wommy. We on the island like Coney, oh no, no, this ain't no phony. He put a car in the Donnie, 27 racks on the pony. 27 racks on the pony.
Because what you want is what you need. Your fiat's losing value each and every week.
NFT, I got crypto keys, yeah, that's why they envy me. Glow, then I skirt off like a brand new SRT.
Yo, what's going on, family? What's going on, Ecomi homies? Music, let's get it. Yeah, baby, this hits for sure. It's your one and only non-fungible wonderful. So welcome to the stream, everybody. Let me get it going here. Let's get back to the music. We're in kind of a interlude phase right now, or a intermission right now. We're waiting on the server, so let me get back into the actual chat here. So let me see.
I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs. Baby, I'm no fungible, it's wonderful to me. Say a little bit ringing, cause the money calling me. I got NFTs.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's supposed to be, but for the last few weeks, I've definitely heard people say that they haven't been able to get in. So I'm hoping this week's different purely because I opened the stage, whereas the last few weeks I've shown up 2 minutes before we were meant to start. So we'll find out. I mean, we're dancing with the 99 at the moment, but I'm not sure if anyone's struggled to get in yet.
All right, guys. So we are live. Kind of. We're still waiting on David. So David, you and I think Dan is hopping in as well. So this is going to be pretty exciting if both of them are present. So as of now, they can't hear me inside the server. So we can kind of commentate if we decide to. If you guys have questions, I can see your chat. This is. If people can't get into the server, make sure you guys tweet this stream out so more people can see this. It'd be much appreciated.
I'm seeing that it might be full.
So as you just heard, Rhys said it looks like it is possibly full. So please share this out on social media so more people can see this. I'm gonna go ahead and share my stream out right now to Twitter. Hey, what's going on? Hello, Kay. I was just telling everybody to share the stream out. I think obviously the server is I think the server is locked up, whereas I think we reached capacity and I'm not sure why. And I think maybe it's just the new stage feature Discord has, so maybe that's possibly the issue. I know it just was released recently, so maybe they're having to limit some bandwidth as far as that goes. So we'll see. Yeah, so much great content for sure. I think it's maxed. Yeah, I think so too. I think possibly I got kicked from the or maybe they are restarting the clubhouse, so we'll see. I'm gonna go to the be right back screen, but you can still hear my voice. Check, 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 check. Make sure you guys can still hear me. Restart. I got kicked too. Okay, gotcha, gotcha. Guess while we're waiting, we can listen to some Pineapple Game music.
Pineapples on me, pineapple the gang, and it's pineapple the tea. I feel like an astronaut. Let's go to the moon, yeah. And we get the cash a lot. It's just what I do, yeah. My NFC costs a lot. I know what to choose, yeah. I know what to do, yeah. I've been on the move, yeah. Why they keep complaining, man? They must be losing money. I will not invest unless I really truly trust it. I just spent some raggies, now my mama think I'm bugging, but she wrong. She wrong. I get the money repeat. I could do this in my sleep. I just spent some money on a brand new NFT.
It's the VeVe mix. Johnny Don, your boy.
It's waterfall. Pineapple gang. I get the money repeat. I could do this in my sleep. I just spent some money on a brand new NFT. I got crypto keys, yeah, that's why they envy me. Glow, then I skirt off like a brand new SRT. I got NFTs. I got NFTs. I got NFTs. I got NFTs. Baby, I'm no fungible, it's wonderful to me. Say a little bit ringing, cause the money calling me. I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs. Not fungible, wonderful, got pineapples on me. Pineapple the gang, and it's pineapple the tea.
I got NFTs, they just wanna bees. Johnny Don, pineapple, VeVe is the gang. Got the new Rizzo dreaming, swerving in the lane. New crib, new house, thanks David U. Alcon, Dan Curlers, just to name a few. Rhys, Trevor, whole team in the bag too. OMI is packed, headed to the moon, caught the remote, no one want to. Master collector, that's what I'm after. Season 1's over, it's a new chapter. 2 Nightwing, got it retail. Got 2 golden dragon girls, look at all the detail.
I get the money repeat. I could do this in my sleep. I just spent some money on a brand new NFT. I got crypto keys, yeah, that's why they envy me. Glow, then I skirt off like a brand new SRT. I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs. Baby, I'm no fungible, it's wonderful to me. Say a little bit ringing, cause the money calling me. I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs. Not fungible, wonderful, got pineapples on me. Pineapple the gang, and it's pineapple the tea. I put my racks in the OMI. I run it up with my bromie. Spent a little back on Ethereum. Best believe I got the womie. We on the island like Coney. Oh, no, this ain't no phony. He put a car in the Donnie. 27 racks on the pony. He put 27 racks on the pony. He really burning that on me. I feel like an astronaut. Let's go to the moon, yeah. And we get the cash a lot. That's just what I do, yeah. My NFC costs a lot. I know what to choose, yeah. I know what to do, yeah. I've been on the move, yeah. Why they keep complaining, man? They must be losing money. I will not invest unless I really truly trust it. I just spent some raggies, now my mama think I'm bugging, but she wrong. She wrong. I get the money repeat. I could do this in my sleep. I just spent some money on a brand new NFT. I got crypto keys, yeah, that's why they envy me. Glow, then I skirt off like a brand new SRT. I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs. Baby, I'm no fungible, it's wonderful to me. Say your love been ringing, cause the money calling me. I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs. Not fungible, wonderful, got pineapples on me. Pineapple the gang, and it's pineapple the tea. It's waterfall. Pineapple gang. I get the money repeat. I could do this in my sleep. I just spent some money on a brand new NFT. I got crypto keys, yeah, that's why they envy me. Glow, then I skirt off like a brand new SRT. I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs. Baby, I'm no fungible, it's wonderful to me. Say your love been ringing, cause the money calling me. I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs. Not fungible, wonderful, got pineapples on me. Pineapple the gang, and it's pineapple the tea. I put my racks in the OMI. I run it up with my bromie. Spent a little back on Ethereum. Best believe I got the womie. We on the island like Coney. Oh, no, this ain't no phony. He put a car in the Donnie. 27 racks on the pony. He put 27 racks on the pony. He really burning that on me. I get the money repeat. I could do this in my sleep. I just spent some money on a brand new NFT. I got crypto keys, yeah, that's why they envy me. Glow, then I skirt off like a brand new SRT. I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs. Baby, I'm no fungible, it's wonderful to me. Say your love been ringing, cause the money calling me. I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs. Not fungible, wonderful, got pineapples on me. Pineapple the gang, and it's pineapple the tea. I feel like an astronaut, let's go to the moon, yeah. And we get the cash a lot, that's just what I do, yeah. My NFC costs a lot, I know what to choose, yeah. I know what to do, yeah. I've been on the move, yeah. Why they keep complaining, man, they must be losing money. I will not invest unless I really truly trust it. I just spent some raggies, now my mama think I'm bugging, but she wrong. She wrong. I get the money repeat. I could do this in my sleep. I just spent some money on a brand new NFT.
You can hear me typing?
It's the VeVe mix.
Shoot.
Johnny Don, your boy.
It's waterfall. Pineapple gang. I get the money repeat. I could do this in my sleep. I just spent some money on a brand new NFT. I got crypto keys, yeah, that's why they envy me. Glow up, then I skirt off like a brand new SRT. I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs. Baby, I'm no fungible, it's wonderful to me. Cellular been ringing cause the money calling me. I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs. Not fungible, wonderful, got pineapples on me. Pineapple the gang and it's pineapple the tea.
I got NFTs, they just wanna bees. Johnny Dunn, pineapple, VeVe is the gang. Got the new Rizzo dreamer swerving in the lane. New crib, new house, thanks David U. Alcon, Dan Curlers, just to name a few. Rhys, Trevor, whole team in the bag too. OMI is packed, headed to the moon, cop the remote, no one too. Master collector, that's what I'm after. Season 1's over, it's a new chapter. 2 Nightwing, got it retail. Got 2 golden dragon girls, look at all the detail.
I get the money repeat. I could do this in my sleep. I just spent some money on a brand new NFT. I got crypto keys, yeah, that's why they envy me. Glow up, then I skirt off like a brand new SRT. I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs. Baby, I'm no fungible, it's wonderful to me. Cellular been ringing cause the money calling me. I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs. Not fungible, wonderful, got pineapples on me. Pineapple the gang and it's pineapple the tea. I put my racks in the OMI, I run it up with my bromie. Spent a little back on Ethereum, best believe I got the want me. We on the island like Coney, oh no, no, this ain't no phony. He put a car in the Donnie, 27 racks on the pony. He put 27 racks on the pony. He really burning that on me. I feel like an astronaut. Let's go to the moon, yeah. And we get the cash a lot. That's just what I do, yeah. My NFC costs a lot. I know what to choose, yeah. I know what to do, yeah. I've been on the move, yeah. Why they keep complaining, man? They must be losing money. I will not invest unless I really truly trust it. I just spent some raggies, now my mama think I'm bugging, but she wrong. She wrong. I get the money repeat. I could do this in my sleep. I just spent some money on a brand new NFT. I got crypto keys, yeah, that's why they envy me. Glow up, then I skirt off like a brand new SRT. I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs. Baby, I'm no fungible, it's wonderful to me. Cellular been ringing cause the money calling me. I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs, I got NFTs. Not fungible, wonderful, got pineapples on me. Pineapple the gang and it's pineapple the tea.
Guys, we are still waiting for the stage to be fixed. So we are still waiting. So in the meantime, I guess we get to keep playing some more music. Keep hanging out with the Ecomi fam. No big deal, right? Listen to some synthwave 80s music. Or we could go something else. Whatever you guys feeling.
right, friends, can you hear me in here? I'm going to share this link around. I've opened the public stage and we changed some settings. We'll see if that works. And as you guys join, can you join as a speaker or does it just send you straight to the audience?
Everyone should be ready. Unless they're already a moderator or a stage monitor. Then they
I just had to rate.
Or Kyle.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, it looks like we're looking all right here. I'm going to share this link around and then we'll get started in a couple of minutes.
Sounds good. Thanks, Rhys.
Yeah, guys, so it looks like they possibly have it fixed. Kind of lost my moderator status when they deleted the old stage, but that's okay. So hopefully this works. I think Rhys is going to share this out, and we should be good to go. Oh, yep, there's the Telegram. And I just received 5.84.
We did 100.
Can you guys hear me?
Bat.
Oh god, I can hear you. Limit. We did it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. OMI homies.
We broke through?
Yes, go
let's get it.
Scream in unison.
Nice.
I don't know what we did, but it worked.
Sometimes you just have to reset. I think that old stage channel had been
126
there for months, so
Sometimes, yeah, you just have to. Did you try turning it on and back or off and then back on?
That is exactly what I did. Yes.
That fixes every IT issue.
Dev can confirm.
It deleted my mod status. I'm sad.
Oh,
That was the problem.
Yeah, it was me. I was holding the server back.
All right, I've shared that link around. Maybe
running it out. Let's go.
I'll just drop it in the general chat as well. And just a reminder, guys, there is the voice chat discussion group in case anybody doesn't get invited up or can't make the voice chat and just wants to drop a question in. I'll go through those once Dan and David arrive as well. So let me just drop this. All right, rad. I think that'll do us. Thanks for sticking with us, fam. Obviously, some technical difficulties, but just looking at how many people have joined us now, I'm glad that we sorted them out. Dan and Dave will join us probably in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, something like that. So we can definitely get started. Kyle, are you running a live stream? Is all of that kind of up and running? Someone recording?
Yeah, it's good to go. We got a solid audience over there as well, so all is good.
Awesome work, guys. Well, maybe we'll just get started with a couple of little things that have happened in the last few days. Obviously, this week we have our first Ron English drop. I know some people were expecting that to not happen until the Rabbit Grin, but I'm pretty happy to get some of Ron's work on the platform. How are we feeling? What are we thinking? What are people looking to collect? Throw me your ideas.
Everything.
Is that just a weekly thing now?
Yeah, everything. I buy everything.
Brock's strategy is buy it all.
He's definitely one of our master collectors these days, I would think.
But I also heard that sub 100 mints aren't worth anything anymore, so I've just been throwing those away.
Yeah, it's
sell for like lowest possible price is what I've been just throwing them out there.
Seems a good strategy. If you want to just throw any my way, feel free, and I will be very responsible with them.
I got you. Hit me with your VeVe username.
Deal. All right, cool. So Ron English, obviously pretty massive. This is the first of 3 drops for the serial killers. Now, I think David Yu has alluded to a secret rare drop in there somewhere. I don't know if it's 12 plus 1 or 11 plus 1. Has anyone else seen that on Instagram?
Yeah, I saw that. I think it should be 12 plus 1 because there's 13 in total that I've seen from the actual like figures. So I just assumed it was 12 plus 1.
Do we also know that there's something, if you combine all of them, you unlock like the last breakfast? Is that a thing for real?
Yeah. So I don't have the finer details on that just yet, but obviously having each of the collectibles lets you assemble the last fat breakfast. I don't know, we've thrown around ideas of the last fat breakfast itself, the scene that it's a part of, almost forms its own little diorama. So maybe if you have all of them, you'll be able to access that, or kind of pick that up as an accessory and then recreate the actual painting using your collectibles.
That's awesome. Also, it looks like from the video, and I don't know if this is true or not, so maybe we can just talk about it. Does it look like you can turn the boxes on and off, like they're like a collectible like podium or prop that's like connected to the collectible? Is that true?
No. The collectibles themselves are the actual character. I think the video team just recreated those boxes to kind of play up the breakfast cereal kind of narrative that goes with them.
That would have been awesome to be able to open those up from the cereal boxes.
Or even turn it on and off like over their shoulder or whatever.
Yeah, turn it into like a pack opening too, right? Almost like we've talked about with other collectibles. So.
Yeah, like a pack opening. That'd be really cool.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right. Maybe we'll ask Dan or David about that. Who knows? I don't know what happens. Yeah, go.
Earlier in things, in previous lives, you're able to kind of like go in and turn on and off like backgrounds, and then I think there was at one point going to be like a podium type deal to display them on. It would be cool if you could turn on and off the box.
Absolutely, it would. Yeah.
No, picking up what I'm putting down.
I'm picking it up. Full of ideas, you are, sir. Full of them.
Hey guys.
Hey mate, how are you?
A question regarding the Slimer and Ghost Trap. When those were first announced in the app, we saw the edition numbers as what they are now. And I'm just curious if you guys plan on increasing that for next week, or if you plan on keeping those what they are to match the rest of the set.
No, I think what you see in there now is what will come out. I guess partly for the reason that they were part of season 1, and that's where we were at the time. Obviously, a lot of people are going to want them. There's going to be quite a lot of scarcity around them. But no, I think what you'll see in there now is accurate. We'll confirm when Dan's on here anyway, but I think it's safe to say that they're the numbers we'll run with.
Yeah, so I have a question from the stream. Somebody's asking if the token swap from OMI to Immutable X will be a 1-to-1 ratio. And I think you spoke on this already a couple times, but I didn't know if you want to answer that one again, Rhys.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, it'll be a 1-to-1, or I guess I prefer to say it as a 1-to-1 value, right? So if the decision is made to do some sort of token split or anything like that, like you're still getting the exact same amount of value, but the number on the screen might be slightly different, and that might come if the decision is made to leave some tokens behind, or just to make it a bit easier to understand for anyone new coming to the ecosystem. So it's 1-to-1 value. Whether that's like 1-to-1 tokens, we have to wait and see. Did someone's mic just cut out there? Still good.
Hey guys.
Oh, yeah,
Uchi out here.
Go for it, mate.
All right, well, I'll go.
I have some people asking about if there's going to be some sport collectibles coming soon.
Yeah. I mean, soon depends on your time horizon. I don't have exact dates, but obviously the NFLPA is in the works. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, North American friends, that's the season starts September or October for the NFL, is that right?
Yeah, usually it starts in the fall, so yeah, like August, September.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of halfway through September, sometimes maybe beginning of August.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, I mean, I don't have the date confirmation on that yet, but I would think that we'll try to capitalize on that start of season hype. That makes more sense from a product dissemination standpoint.
Yeah, they have of course the preseason games, and then I think the season like opens like September 9th or something like that, according to Google. But yeah, they have the preseason games, which are equally, I think, as exciting, for NFL fans. I know preseason's always really exciting for me, just to see the potentials of what the team has, and, quarterbacks, players, and see how good that they kind of might perform during the regular season. And as well as the rookies kind of get some playing time too, so I kind of like to see rookies play.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the rookies are probably something to pay attention to when their collectibles come out as well. That's, I don't know, other than sort of sporting licenses, the opportunity to collect something that is less popular and then stands to become much more popular if those players turn into semi-legends. It could be a really cool way to watch these collectibles develop as time goes on.
Oh, absolutely. It's the same concept as the trading card.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I definitely use that same strategy for physical stuff myself when it comes to sports.
Just when watching Patrick Mahomes, knowing how good he was with playing for was he Texas Raiders? I can't remember if it was Raiders or I think he was, yeah. Anyways, playing for college, he was really good, and I remember his rookie season, being really excited to watch him play.
No, he was from Texas Tech, and he actually was a sub for the first season, and he didn't get any playing time until the second season. That's where he just broke off the charts. Nobody really knew about him in college.
Oh, I did, because he plays one of my teams I watch, so I knew Texas Tech is kind of a strong quarterback college. They've always had a really good quarterback position at Tech. They just like to throw that West Coast offense and throw a lot of yards, and it's very unfortunate for one of my teams, which is Oklahoma Sooners.
I can't imagine how many more people are going to come to VeVe once that drops.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, go.
Well, I actually got a pretty good turnout this weekend on the Telegram group. We went from 1.5K members to 1.8K members, so that's good news.
Absolutely, yeah. The interest in this space is definitely not waning. It's obviously everyone on the crypto side. We've seen the markets pull back, all very healthy stuff by the look of it, and that initial NFT hype has calmed down, which is great for everybody who's actually building a business. But yeah, just to see how many projects are really starting to ramp things up now, and at this stage, it's really exciting to see the NFT industry just propel forward, which is good. Now, look, Dan and Dave will be here in a couple of minutes. I'm hoping I don't have to let them in. They should be fine. Just to cover off a couple of other little things that we've been working towards this week as well. We obviously saw it was Ghostbusters Day yesterday, and we just kicked off a pretty amazing giveaway. First things first, guys, you've seen the Slimer and how transparent he is. What do we think?
Awesome.
He looks absolutely beautiful. At first, I was a little confused, but I really like what you guys have. It looks amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It also looks like he has like a glow too, right?
Yeah. I think the videos,
like an animated glow.
Yeah,
seems sort of like it.
The videos we've seen are a bit compressed, but I think once we're all looking at the real thing, well, the augmented reality real thing, it'll be even more.
Quick question.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Since Ghostbusters is kind of like a movie thing, cartoon, etc., is there going to be more movie tie-in things? People keep asking like that there was some kind of big racing, kind of like Fast type movie that was coming out. If there was any kind of tie-in.
There is. Yeah, look, I think we've spoken about this previously. We're definitely going to be tying in, or at least trying to tie in our releases with releases like that. That's
awesome.
Yeah, it's an easy shortcut really from a marketing and product standpoint.
Universal also came out. They're looking to try and make a Fast and the Furious Jurassic Park shared world. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen that yet.
I'm not kidding about that. But what would be awesome tie-in would be a drivable T-Rex. I think
it would. We'll have to bring Trevor back on.
Sell it to Universal. Yep.
Yeah. I'll bring the suggestions forward for sure. For anyone who wants to get into that Slimer giveaway, guys, it's happening on Twitter. All you need to do is tag VeVe Collectible and either post a photo of your favorite Ghostbusters collectible if you already have one, but we're also accepting any sort of fan art. You don't have to own the collectible to be able to participate. Much in the same vein of the VeVe art show and a lot of the memes and things that are going around. So yeah, if you want to participate, anyone can jump into that. And we are giving away 37 Slimers next week.
Okay, I'm going to jump off to make room for the riffraff that just joined.
Fantastic. I think they'll get in here anyway. And is that a Mr. Daniel Crothers and Mr. David Yu, the Diamond Hands himself? Welcome, gentlemen.
Hi, Rhys. How are you?
Hey, everyone. How's it going?
Hello. Welcome.
Cool. Did we get the user limit thing sorted out?
It does appear that we have. Yeah, I think we have 228 listening. We did open it as a public stage, so that might have made a difference as well and changed some of the permissions. But it's good to have you here, gentlemen. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join. Just before we get started, guys, I will invite people up to speak and ask some questions of these two. Once you've had your turn or had your question, if you can return to the audience, just so that I can bring a few more people in and everybody gets their chance to have a say. Just another reminder, there is a voice chat, just a chat channel as well. So if you can't be part of the conversation or you just want to drop some questions in there, feel free, and I will go through those a bit later and we'll put them to the gents. So if that suits everybody else, we'll get started and I'll invite some people up here to say good day as well.
Sounds good. Let's get rolling.
And anyone that's currently up here, guys, if you have a question, feel free to get us started too.
First of all, I'd like to say hello to David and Dan. Thanks, you guys, and Rhys. Thank you all for taking your time out of your day to answer questions and be here with the community. So just got a couple questions from the stream here. We're also live on the tube as well. So some people are asking, will Slimer drool like the last iteration? And we have somebody else, will Slimer and Ghost Trap be interactive with one another, is another question.
The Slimer won't drool in this version. We decided to opt that out because it wasn't really along the brand lines. And instead we've gone for, as you guys probably saw from the video that somehow got leaked on David's channel, we've actually spent quite a bit of time working on the transparency. It may seem like a simple thing to make something clear and see-through, but there's various different methods we need to do to make it function well on mobile devices. And then in addition to that, we've sort of spent some of the CPU power, if you will, on getting that real sort of glow from Slimer, just to give them that look. Now, as for the next question, will Slimer and the Ghost Trap be interactive? I guess you'll just have to wait and see.
Leaving people on an edge there. I like
That's a mean tease. I love it.
can't give away all the secrets.
No, I mean, I think that's excellent. That's going to give so many people something to dive in for next week and really test out.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the Ghost Trap more than likely won't drop next week. Slimer is dropping, and then the Ghost Trap will hopefully be a week after. Okay, thanks for that.
Was
and yeah, so yeah, stay tuned for the Ghost Trap.
Hey guys, thanks so much for your time. So I just had a question, so kind of links in with the Slimer as well. So we had the previous version of Slimer, which was conveniently leaked on David Yu's Instagram. So this might be a question that maybe David could answer. But I am aware that sometimes the licensor, they have to kind of give the final sign off and they may not be happy with the artwork, and I believe that was the case with the Slimer. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm aware that Edo with the Ultraman drop was not released for a similar reason. Would it be possible to potentially have a leak on someone's Instagram of what the original version of the Edo also looks like? Maybe not now, but if we do get, well, when we do get it, to kind of see the original version as well, just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
Dan,
go,
you want to answer that? No, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, the Edo hasn't dropped because we haven't dropped it yet. I mean, there's really nothing else to the story. Generally, we just like to make sure that before we release the collectible, it's the highest possible quality. So, you know, if that means it takes, you know, extra time to get to that point, you know, we're going to spend that time making sure that it looks as good as possible. But to your question about licensors, it's pretty run of the mill, to be honest. You know, we create something, we send it over to them, they either sign off on it or give us feedback, in which case we just go back into the creative cycle until they approve it. Now, some licensors are, you know, very particular about what they want to see, whereas others are a little bit more, you know, loose, I guess, if you will, when it comes to their IP.
Nice. Does that help answer your question, okay?
Yeah, perfect, fantastic. Yeah, I was just curious, just with the whole process. Just on a follow-up question, if it is okay to answer this, feel free if it's not. But with the Slimer drop, I am aware that David Yu was awaiting a phone call. Now, some people were speculating that, because you know how the community just reads into everything, even if it's an emoji, they were speculating that when David said he was awaiting a call, he was quoting the Ghostbusters film, and he wasn't actually waiting for a physical call. But I was wondering if it was there a delay because there was kind of a final sign off from Sony in this case, or was it something else that, you know, David was waiting for?
Yeah, so just to make that straight, this final version, what you see, it has been signed off by Sony. That's why we can leak that out. We were basically making the final call between our internal teams to make sure we're ready to drop. As you probably know, the call is a mixture of everything. Number one is, are we being fair, not advising the money? We have over 300,000 fans, and there's only 5,000 plus of these collectibles coming out. One of the major thing is if we didn't really announce it to the public properly, a lot of them probably going to miss out, and we're probably going to get thousands of support tickets to say, "Oh, I missed out. You didn't inform me in the newsletter," so on. So we were just thinking what the final call we're going to do in between the team, and at the end, we made a call that it would be fair for us to publicize that the audience know it is coming. But mainly, yesterday was a celebration of Ghostbuster Day. It's one of my most top, 50 films I love to watch. So I was very eager, excited to share the picture, the image. We didn't really wanted to create any FUD in the community. We just want great news, keep you guys up to date what we've been doing. And it was a great day to release a good image. It was a beautiful model, and you have to wait and see the ghost trap coming out.
And if I can just add to that, I mean, the call is obviously, one of the main line from Ghostbusters, who you're going to call. So we weren't waiting on a call. It was David was quoting the movie, who you're going to call.
Yeah.
Thanks for clearing that up, guys. And David, I appreciated your post for Ghostbusters Day. I thought it was awesome.
Thank you.
Hey, I got a question / good idea. Will the NFLPA collectibles be tied maybe to like tickets or some sports memorabilia?
In the we will be doing physical related products, but at this stage, until we actually officially announce anything to do with the NFLPA, we can't really comment too much on what's going to be coming out.
Nice. We did just have a NFLPA question before you guys jumped in as well. I'm personally running on the assumption that we wouldn't be looking to release something like that until the season starts or a bit later in the year. Can you guys is there any comments on that? A bit of a time expectation when we would start to see those roll out?
Yeah, so I can probably help on this question. So we are slowly introducing the seasons and the VeVe, and you guys probably have seen a huge diversity of product coming out. I think towards the end of season 1, we have dropped the Krypton, which is a more lower tier retail pricing product, and that was really out there to have product available for younger audience. And I think we also trialed with Summoning from Tokidoki. That was another new product that we brought out. Season 2, you will start to see a lot of the collectible quality starting to gear up more and more. We really want the audience to understand that a lot of these collectible has been a work in progress from 8 to 12, 13 months ago. So the first iteration of season 1 collectible, a lot of them are probably not in their greatest. And we are going to spend some time over the next 18 months when we get time and resource. We'll go back and start touching up on the earlier collectible. You might see color changes, or you might see like the Tokidoki, the Redmo, it's now animated. We'll start come up with some new innovative ways to get these collectible to the next tier. And just going back to the NFLPA, it's a new category, sports. We do have some exciting news that we are working with other partners in the coming months that is really tied into sport. And when we talk about sports, we really want to come out with product that resonate with collectors. A few key areas that we need to consider is our audience right this moment today ready to see sports player next to Batman. So we just want to ensure we introduce these characters and these collectible at the right time, and when we have a pipeline with other sports or related. And sport is a huge category for us. We see some of the early success of NBA Top Shop continue to get really great traction. We want to come up with new innovative fun and ways that we can make that sports category work really well. And you will start to come and see more gamification or innovative ways what we're going to do with our NFT. And hopefully some of those will be applied onto the NFLPA license that we have with the players.
Awesome. Thank you for that insight. I know a lot of people are waiting for the NFL, but to know that there's a few other sports brands potentially on the cards as well is definitely an exciting move. Guys, just a reminder, if you've had a chance to ask a question, if you want to move down into the audience, obviously our mods and things, more than welcome to stay. But we'll just open the floor, guys. Continue with the questions, and I'll make my way through the discussion group too.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
mate.
All right. So my question has to do with the Ecomi Secure Wallet card. So I've seen some early videos on Ecomi's YouTube where you can spawn your collectible on the card, and to me, I'm looking forward to this because it'll make me feel like I'm actually holding my collectible in my hand. So I was wondering when this might roll out and how far you guys could go with the card. And also, I was kind of wondering how much VeVe might change after Comic Con.
To address your first question, seeing those very early videos of the collectible on the card, that was just an early prototype that we did, and really all that was happening in augmented reality. We were scanning for or tracking the Ecomi logo on the back of the card, and when it found that, you were able to drop a collectible on top of it. So it's actually nothing to do with the card at all. In fact, it's everything to do with the VeVe app. In certain scenarios, we're able to detect various shapes and then place collectibles on top of that. I mean, from my perspective, I'm not really too sure whether that's a prominent feature that we will roll out, just because there's very little utility to it. It's not really spawning out of the card, as you say. It's just more, like I say, we're scanning and looking for an image and allowing you to put something on top of that. So still kind of in discussion, deciding whether we'll bring that feature back in.
I can, in regards to the Comic-Con event, it is something that was already, part of our roadmap years ago, how we're going to go to the market to get this massive market adoption to get users and more fans. What we're going to be doing and launching with Comic-Con is going to be a series of very short runs of collectibles that will be available during the Comic-Con. We still haven't worked out how we're going to drop these and how we're going to be announcing them, but it is very likely it will still be within the VeVe app. And how would it change moving forward from there? I think what you will see is a huge inflood. I mean, Comic-Con physically, they have told us a couple of days ago, in the normal event without any pandemic happening, they get up to 500,000 traffic through the doors in the complex over the spring of 3-4 days. So, I mean, let's not even think about 500,000, even 30 more thousand users coming on board is going to be creating, a huge community. And what I really think will be moving forward from here is VeVe, it is still in the very early stage. I think a lot of the comic collectors, especially like in DC, you see some of the Batman that we dropped in, a lot of these new collectors who just started to know of the favorite statue that they have purchased, now it's available in NFT. They are honestly just coming in to buy them. And one of the major things you have seen, the CoverGirl and the Batman Series 5, the Commons is still available. And that was designed to do that. We knew Comic-Con was going to happen in July. We needed inventory. And DC is going to be a major sponsor for Comic-Con coming up. So we need to ensure that we have access DC figures for sale. So, when we listen to our audience, our customer, a lot of people go, oh, did it sell out? It was never designed and intended to be designed to not sell out. I mean, it's designed to have products for everyone, especially the comments. It's okay to have the comments out there. You look at NBA Top Shop and all these other products. When you have comments, there's always going to be a lot of them around. And the whole idea is the more people share this image or AR into their social media, we're going to attract more users. And the more users come on, the secondary market is going to get new, fresh of buyers coming in. It's no good that VeVe traders or collectors only trade amongst existing collectors. We always need to hope we are adding 5 to 10% of new user every month into the pool for that secondary market to really get that meat-cat effect, that network effect, and that's what we intended to do.
Thank you. You read my mind on some of that. I have a quick question. In what capacity is VeVe going to be playing in Comic-Con? So, are we going to see you guys in maybe an advertisement, or are you guys going to have a more prominent role? So I think that would be my question.
Yeah. So at this stage, I can't tell you too much what we have coming. There are a couple of things. The collectibles itself will only be purchasable through VeVe on our app. The app itself, we will have a virtual metaverse showroom in the Comic-Con event. So you will see some of the Batman statue and hopefully some other Toki figures, things that we already have released. It will be available. You'll be able to navigate yourself through the Comic-Con virtual experience and see the collectible that you already own or that VeVe have issued or released. So we are embedded into the whole experience. It's not really just a way for, people might think it's a money grab opportunity. It's totally not. It was always part of our engagement and how we onboard new users and fandoms from it. So this won't be the only virtual con that we're doing. We do have a raw plan to be attending DCons, Comic-Con around the world in the physical events. In fact, we've been working with another exhibition company on helping us to put together a raw kit set that we can attend all these fandom expos around the States and UK and throughout Europe. So we're really going to have a bit of physical interaction with it. And some of the stuff that we'll be showing on is, for example, the original artwork from the Ultraman 2D. We managed to secure the original art pieces, so they'll be hanging up in our booth. And obviously there will be limited edition things that you can only get at the physical con shows coming up. But I think most of the physical shows not going to happen until at least around November or late this year. And really this massive rollout will be our 2022 plan next year.
I got a question about Tony. So the original design, his nipple is white, but the one that you released, his nipple is orange. What's up with that?
Now, you definitely caught me off guard. That is something.
At the end of the day, all of the collectibles are signed off by Ron. He's the creative eye. He's the creative genius. He wanted the nipple orange. I guess it's just a slight differentiation between the physical and the digital. But when we create things in digital, we're not always going to follow exactly what's out there in the real world, because in the real world or the physical world, there's often limitations. When it maybe, I don't know, who knows, maybe it costs a lot to paint nipples when you're creating physical products. So yeah, I mean, don't anticipate that they'll always be the same or always be identical, because we are creating a slightly different product.
In regards to the Comic-Con exclusive collectibles, will those be a part of a normal drop, or will they, even if you can answer this, or will you be requiring like a code, or will there be some way to access those through the Comic-Con itself?
I think at the moment, just to make things a bit simpler, we probably will do what we normally do. We will have we'll put a time on it. But obviously Comic-Con goes for 3 or 4 days. So we want to make sure we possibly be dropping something every day. I already know the VeVe fan is just going to grab them all up, because some of them is going to be pretty low runs. And the problem is, I know the people who go to the physical virtual Comic-Con landing page, by the time they download the app and be ready, they're going to be pretty disappointed. So we are going to try to work out how we're going to mitigate this issue. But to tell the truth, it's going to be very hard because I think our fans would just buy all these low run editions, and unfortunately, it's going to be like that. There could be a possible you have to put a code in, but really we want to make sure that with the time limit we have and resource, we just do something that's more practical. But we'll keep you up to date in our Medium article coming out in the next few weeks for sure.
I have a question about the Master Collector program. I was reading an old article about Ecomi and OpenSea, and somewhere in there it said that Master Collectors will be rewarded with a percentage of exchange fees for arbitration. Can you speak to that, if that's still relevant?
No, that's not relevant anymore. We have to be very careful around, all of the more modern regulations around cryptocurrency. So the Master Collector program is very specifically targeted and targeted towards collectors within the VeVe app, whether you be an OMI holder or not. And it's really about making sure that, if our fans and our users are very active and participate a lot in the app, like for example, daily streaks, or you own, a large number of collectibles, or you have a lot of activity within the app, those are the kind of things that are going to advance your Master Collector level. We will more than likely bring in some kind of staking model around Master Collector. But as I've mentioned on a couple of our other video updates, we need to be very careful that it's not just a whoever has the most money wins scenario. It needs to be very fair, to users from everywhere and from users with every kind of gem wallet balance. So it's going to be a mixture of what you own and the activity you do within the app. And the rewards that you get through Master Collector program will be more around, potentially a short amount of access to the collectible drops, or maybe there'll be a set number of rares or ultra rares allocated to certain Master Collector levels. That will only be a very short time frame that you'll have the opportunity to get in on that. But yeah, long story short, really it's about rewarding users who participate in the app.
Perfect. Hey guys, I might just jump in. Just another quick reminder to return to the audience if you've had a chance. There are quite a few people requesting to speak, and just before it gets lost, there was reference to the secure wallet earlier. Do we have any update as to when the wallets will be back in stock, Dan or David, and what people can kind of expect on that front? I know we have a new app update coming out soon as well, but maybe we can update people on that.
Yeah, we are making a new production batch with our factory, and hopefully we're waiting for some dry good packaging to be finished as well. And the major thing, what we wanted to do is to ensure that the new cards will automatically have the new firmware update with our, the new app going out. So hopefully it will be, hopefully within the next month and a half, we could have something up and running. We do still have a little bit of stock on existing stock left. We might look at opening that window in the next week or two to sell down a little bit what else we have. But I think one of the major part is really waiting for our entire app update. Just make things a little bit more easier. Or just from our side.
That's one of the other factors is we want to get the new app rolled out, which fixes a number of just difficulties within the app experience at the moment. So that new app, which is 10 times better, both visually and in terms of functionality, is going out into our beta tester track very, very soon, hopefully early next week. And then that's probably going to go through a couple of weeks of testing, and then the app will be automatically rolled out. So if you update the product or update the app from whatever Apple or Google, you're basically just going to see sort of new interface and the features will be working quite a lot better.
How y'all doing?
Go ahead, man.
I got a question about the Master Collector program also while we on this subject. So the Master Collector program, you get benefits such as early access to digital collectibles, release limited edition collectibles, and bonus OMI tokens. Can you give us a little insight for us OMI holders what the wallets would do?
I mean, I think the key takeaway here is that we haven't released any of the details of what the Master Collector program is going to entail. So I don't really want to speculate or say anything until we actually start releasing that information. But there will be rewards. As for some of the things you mentioned, like specific limited edition collectibles for certain level of Master Collector. I mean, that gets very difficult. Like I said just previously, we might allow certain levels of Master Collector to have easier access. But yeah, beyond that, it's really just a matter of waiting until we finalize everything and then we start producing some information about it.
Okay, so nothing like dividends or anything like that for the OMI holders?
Well, no, like I just said before, we have to be very careful around current regulations. If we're giving out dividends or anything like that to OMI holders, that might start to classify us as a security. So we have to be very, very careful on that front.
I understand. Also, the Slimer is the best NFT I have ever seen. Just want to let y'all know that.
Thank you. Well, I tell you, there's a lot more to come that are even more epic.
I can't.
I like the Mike Mignola Batman, but yeah, so.
We are going to try to see if we can get more Mike Mignola other work into it as well. So please do stay tuned. He's one of my most favorite artists. And, we first, when we brought him onto the app, myself and Daniel to go, well, our audience understand it. But just to let you know, Mike Mignola, the Batman, is the most popular physical Batman and toy statue they ever made. He's an amazing artist. Most people just really underrate his work, and he's done some great work with Hellboys. If you Google his name up, he's got some epic toys, and hopefully we'll see more of his work in VeVe in different categories as well. But for me now, guys, I do have to jump off. I do have another meeting call coming up. I just want to thank everyone for your support, and I think Dan's going to continue. And thanks, Rhys, for having me on the show. And I will try to be on every week if I can, if permissions allow me to do this.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, Dave. And yeah, I'll keep you updated on the next ones in case you can swing by as well. I'm sure people are very eager to get more of your insight into this industry. So thanks for coming by.
Yes, thanks, David.
And we are going to do. I did speak to. We are going to do a pre-recording. Rhys and Dan, myself and Dan and Al. I spoke to Al this morning. He's doing well. And we hope to do a little, YouTube update with what's happening, and we'll air that sometime coming up. So stay tuned on what we have coming.
Awesome. Thanks, mate. Yeah, I know people will be eager to hear that update too. And as Dave said, everyone, I'll keep you updated as to when that will come out. You've probably learned by now that we can't put exact dates to things because everyone's busy, but it'll be soon.
Thanks. Thank you.
No worries. All right, guys, we might push on. There's plenty of people waiting with questions. So while we've got Dan here, I'm guessing for the next half hour or so, hopefully, come at him.
All right, I got a couple questions from audience. When can we possibly expect multiple drops per week? And then my question personally is, when will the web app or browser app, if you will, when can we know more details on that?
So in regard to the multiple drops, they will more than likely be happening, if not by the end of this month, then definitely early July. I think, as I've mentioned in a couple of our previous community updates, that one of the challenges that we faced was that we did have 6 months worth of content, but that obviously sold out very quickly. So behind the scenes, myself and Trevor and the wider production team have been producing some really top quality work. And because we have so many licenses and brands on board, the only way for us to service those the licensors and our obligation to the licensors is to start dropping multiple collectibles each week. And one of the sort of strategies and approaches that we will be taking to that is, we'll never drop, say, for example, 2 superheroes in one week. They'll be kind of split up into different categories. You might have a superhero, and then maybe a Tokidoki and a something else, just to make sure that there's enough spread there. And also, we don't want to be damaging too many more wallets or credit cards. So, as these multiple drops come out, I think one of the things that we're going to start seeing is that because there is just so much content coming out, we'll probably start seeing our fans and users gravitate more towards the content that they want. You might be more interested in superheroes or vehicles as opposed to cutesy Tokidoki type content. So yeah, that's definitely coming. So yeah, stay tuned for that one and start seeing things. And the second question was what? Sorry.
It was when do we know a timeline on the web browser app, or possibly when we can expect maybe the first iteration?
Yeah, so I'm hoping that by the end of this month, the majority of the functionality will be in place, and then we'll be diving straight into into all of the beta testing of the web app. It is the beta testing this time around is a bit easier because really the web app is just another interface to our existing kind of back-end system. But I'm really aiming for a mid to late July public launch of the app. And we will more than likely be inviting certain users who are, prolific in our community into that beta program early on. But yeah, I am very excited about the web app. I think I mentioned in our last video update that, yeah, and as it comes together more and more, I'm becoming a lot more attracted to using that platform than the phone app. Don't get me wrong, I still love the phone app. Obviously, that has all of the AR function in it, but to be able to browse it online, through your browser, is going to be really cool.
Hey guys, I've got a couple of community questions. So it's 2 questions. First question is, what happened to Ecomi 1? I guess what happened to it. And the second question is, in a previous AMA you did, Dan, you mentioned something about golden gems, which sounds quite similar to how you've described the Master Collector program just now. Is the golden gem concept still kind of in the works somewhere? Could you maybe elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, so just to address the first question, I mean, Ecomi 1 was something from one of our very early white papers. I think, one thing to make clear is that there was our original white paper, and then, it was very unfortunate timing. We really sort of launched our ICO back then. I mean, I think this is going back, way back to 2018. I think it was literally the day we opened our ICO was when that, everything started tanking.
It was definitely the day. Yeah.
What's that, sorry?
Definitely the day that everything started tanking.
Yeah, literally the day. I just remember looking at the charts and just seeing Ethereum just tanking day by day. So that actually ended up being a very unsuccessful ICO for the company. So we actually decided to wind up that ICO. We offered everyone who did put money in to have their money back, or that they could be part of, what is Ecomi as you know it now, which is really focused on two main products, which is VeVe and the secure wallet.
So I'm streaming too. This is Poor Man Printing, by the way. So people in the stream are asking, when will the feature be open for the drivable DeLorean? And also, with buybacks starting at the end of June, are we expecting something pretty big for y'all to start doing buybacks?
When you say something pretty big, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, y'all starting buybacks at the end of June. I didn't think we'd start buybacks this soon.
I mean, it's pretty simple. We're just going to start doing buybacks. There's not really anything else to it.
It's just part of the design more than anything. It's always been part of the tokenomics, and we're just at a point that can begin now. So it's not really coinciding with any sort of big event to start the buybacks. Just to clarify that.
Hey, Rhys, I just wanted to thank you. You helped me out with a support ticket a while back that spanned a month, and I had a death in my family, and I was able to share the VeVe app with my family and helped us through a tough time. I don't know if you remember, I shared next to my mom. You were one of the first people to find out that I was going to have a baby, so I had shared that with you through a ticket. Over the course of a month. So I'm very grateful and appreciative that you helped me out. It was my first time kind of getting into crypto, and I had a problem with the wallet and the app, and you fixed it. You were great. And my question for you specifically is I was surprised who you were in the company. I thought you were just a support person behind the desk. And I looked up some information about you, and it said that you actually started your first business when you were 14. I was just wondering if you could share what that looked like and where you got your work ethic from, because it's made me a huge supporter of anything to do with VeVe. So thank you.
Thanks, man. Thanks. And so happy to hear that we came to a resolution on that. I absolutely do remember it. And congratulations again on the pending newborn. My first business was actually back when I was in school. I don't know if business is the right term for this. It's more of I exploited an opportunity. But whenever we had school carnivals, sports carnivals, swimming carnivals, that kind of thing, there would always be the school selling lunches and drinks and all that kind of thing. But I, with my friends, would set up our own rival barbecue or rival little tuck shop and just start slandering the school's one. And make some income that way every time there was an event. So that's kind of where that started. My work ethic in general, I have probably had more jobs and more things than just about anyone you know. Most of that comes from a drive to travel, really. Over the last 10 years, 15 years, pretty much all of my income has gone to getting me on a plane and going to explore somewhere else in the world. But it's also led me to amass quite a number of skills in a number of industries, which probably makes me quite suited to this role. But yeah, I guess my drive for any sort of work or anything like that comes from an interest and a passion to learn something, as opposed to necessarily the thing that I'm doing. If I can walk away from something with new skills or a new understanding of myself or the people around me, then I see that as a valuable exercise in my life.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
I got a quick question from the audience.
Yeah.
I get a couple of gaming questions popping up here. We had somebody ask, will there be more gaming NFTs coming soon? And another question was, will we see top tier developers like essentially like Blizzard or Call of Duty release a game, but also when you buy the game, you get access to an NFT essentially?
I think the gaming industry is an interesting one when it comes to NFTs, because right now they have a very closed environment into which users pour cash into them. So my personal belief is that gaming will eventually come, and it'll come through pressure from the gamers and the audiences and fans around those games. But really, if you look at it from a financial perspective, the game companies are already making so much money off this sort of enclosed captive audience that to move to NFTs for their assets is going to potentially somewhat dilute what they have at the moment. But I really do believe that with the popularity and growth of NFTs, that user demand is really only going to increase. And so yeah, I think we really just have to see what's going to happen on that side. In terms of what we're doing at VeVe, we are definitely right now and still continue to partner with gaming companies to bring their assets, their very, very popular assets into the digital collectible space. So you can certainly expect to see that. I hope that at some point that if you buy a digital collectible within VeVe that is from a popular game, that might give you some kind of utility, whether it's opens up the same asset inside the game or whatever. I have been in talks and discussions with some of the licensed partners that we've been working with, but like I said, we really just have to see what's how the whole gaming NFT thing is going to play out.
Hello. A quick question to Dan, please.
Yeah, go for it. We'll make our way through these guys and keep going.
Thank you, Rhys. So I was just wondering, are we going to be able to see the market history of each collectible in the future? And in that case, will it start counting since the very beginning of the marketplace or since the implementation of that feature, like maybe after OMI migration?
Yes, 100%. I mean, we do obviously track all of the pricing history in the back end, and we will definitely be bringing in a couple of features around pricing. Like, for example, within the app right now, we've got a section called appraisal. Unfortunately, that's completely broken. So I've been in discussions with the developers. I think at the moment it always shows the store price or the original selling price, rather than an average of, say, the past 10 sell prices. So that's one thing we're working on. And then in addition to that, it will also be a bit clearer as to what the last price was. And then there'll be an option to, potentially where the last price, you'll have an option to click on that and then see the pricing history. One of the challenges with the last price is that, there are still some users out there who might sell a collectible, way under what the actual market rate is. So we have to be very careful about, when we put that information out, that it can be accurate as possible. We don't want to, let's just say the last 10 collectibles of a particular collectible type sold for under market value for whatever reason. Some people just want to hey mate, you're cool, you can have this for 20 gems, even though it's worth 100 gems. So we just need to be careful that the price that's shown is fair and is accurate based on the last market rates. And the other thing that also kind of complicates that is people will pay significantly more for a number 41 as they would for, say, a number 32,000. So again, along those same kind of lines, if the last one that sold was an edition number 41, that's obviously going to have a much higher last price than one of these potentially higher edition collectibles. So TLDR, yes, we are definitely working on that, and price history will be a feature coming out in the future.
Well, that's cool, because right now I think it says amount paid, so you can actually know if it's been purchased on the store or on the marketplace. But thank you.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, the amount paid is if you're looking at a particular edition, that is showing in there.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep, we've got you there.
Yep.
Okay, my question is, in the App Store, when you purchase gems, I was curious, if the amount you could purchase is going to be increasing in the future from 350.
Yeah, great question. All of those limits are actually not set by us. They're set by the platform. You know, it's very rare that you'll download an app from App Store or from Google, and you know you can do an in-app purchase for sort of $5,000 or $10,000. So it's not actually us that are putting those limitations in place. It actually comes from the app stores. However, one of the great things about the web platform is that we'll be running through, you know, a normal payment provider. So, you know, the limit will ultimately be whatever your credit card limit is moving into the future. So, yeah, just another advantage for the web platform coming out is that we aren't quite so, we don't have to sort of fit so much into the rules of Google and Apple.
Awesome. Thank you. That'll be great. Yeah, because it's been a pain in the butt having to purchase 350 at a time. And then also you get all those service charges from your credit card provider as well.
Yeah, we have actually been working quite closely with Apple and Google. Unfortunately, I believe it was late last year, Apple introduced a new regionalized tax fees. So for example, you know, United Kingdom, I believe there's a 20% fee that goes on top of anything that you buy through Apple. So we've worked quite hard with both Apple and Google to try to get to the bottom of, you know, where those fees are and where they're coming from. But it's very clear that they're coming through from, you know, various financial regulations based on your location. But again, you know, all of that stuff is going to be severely minimized when we roll out the web platform with just a standard sort of credit card payment system.
Just on that, Dan, and one question
Awesome.
I get a fair bit, and maybe the web platform solves this. Do we eventually get to a point where we can just accept local currencies as well, as opposed to US dollars?
I mean, yes, we can do that. I mean, when you are going through the web platform, you know, ultimately you'll be paying in whatever your local currency is. So that is definitely something that's on the cards. Both Apple and Google do have a feature for local currencies that we are looking into. We just need to make sure that there's going to be no additional fees on top of that. One of the options we did look to try to circumvent, or at least, you know, offer the sort of the one-for-one when you're buying gems through the app stores, is where the local currencies would make a difference in that. And unfortunately, it doesn't, because these sort of taxes still apply regardless of whether you're, you know, buying in USD or local currency.
Yeah. Fair enough. So we'll just move forward with that as we can, and when it makes sense to. Cool. And just
quick question.
Can
you guys hear me?
Sorry, mate. I just want to quickly circle back. Kay asked earlier about the golden gems, or the potential of something like that. Is that still in the works? Sort of incentivization there.
I mean, the golden gems is still just an idea at this stage. I mean, there's many things we can do around gems, and that will be potentially part of the Master Collector program, where, you know, you might do something, or, you know, potentially stake and get something like a golden gem. You know, I'm not promising anything like that at this stage, but we certainly have investigated the possibility of something like that.
Perfect. Yeah, I just didn't want it to get lost in the mix. Someone just had a question there, if you want to fire away.
Yeah. Quick question. With the announcement of Immutable X and with the exchanges coming up in the artist alleys, have we already been exposed to the 12 out of 10 announcement, or is that still around the corner?
That is still around the corner.
I got a quick question from the voice chat.
A quick question.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Is there going to be an increase on the 500 gem sin limit on the daily? And then I just wanted to plug myself. If you guys need somebody to go to the Comic Cons here in the States, just let me know.
Thank you. Appreciate the offer. No, the 500 gem limit will more than likely remain in place. You know, we did a lot of calculations around the gems and, you know, users being able to send them around. And the issue, one of the main issues, sorry, excuse me for a second. Sorry, I just had to clear my throat. You know, one of the main issues is that, you know, sadly, as we've sort of discovered as we bring out the app, there's a lot of people out there who just try to game the system or scam the system. So it's really about, you know, making sure that we're protecting the best interests of the app and the solution. So when the web platform rolls out, it is possible that we will raise those limits. And if we do, it will be more than likely associated with your activity in the app. You know, if you're an active user and you've had a membership for a long time, then those limits could potentially be raised. But we just need to be careful that, you know, people start creating new accounts and then, you know, they start sending all of these gems around. Yeah, there's multiple ways that people can game the system if that's completely open. So it's really a security measure for both us and our users.
I got another question.
Quick question on Comic-Con, Dan. So with Comic-Con right around the corner, are getting collectibles signed in time for that going to be a goal?
When you say signed, what do you mean?
So like if I've got a Todd Batman, will getting it signed at a Comic-Con be an option for any collectible?
Only if he signs the screen of your phone at this stage. Which will,
okay, at this stage.
Yeah, you never know. That may raise the value of your phone. But yeah,
Todd iPhone 12.
Yeah, I love it. No, I mean, one of the, you know, the cool things about having a collectible, I mean, you know, every collectible that both David and I own, if we have the opportunity to meet the artist or the creator, like, you know, Ron English, you know, we always try to get it signed because that's a huge thing in the world of collectibles. So we do have a feature in the roadmap that will allow collectibles to basically be digitally signed. And it's going to be pretty cool. I can't actually say when it's going to come out because we already have so much in the roadmap at the moment, at least for the next sort of 6 months. But it will basically be a feature that, yeah, you can have your phone on you. If Todd McFarlane is there doing signings, you'll be able to walk up to him. You'll be able to press a button on your Todd McFarlane number 100, which says sign. Then the artist or whoever it is will basically sign it. Then they'll be prompted to, you know, to take a photo because with any kind of signing of a collectible, it all comes down to the authenticity of it. Like, for example, you know, I could forge a signature on the back of any of the collectibles that I own and claim that it was the artist. So it's very important that we build in these authenticity or what's called provenance in the when it comes to the signing. So that is definitely something that I'm personally excited about. It's just a matter of when that's going to be in the roadmap. Hopefully for Comic-Con next year is more than likely.
So we can kind of expect the artists and to be on the app essentially.
They won't need to be on the app. You'll basically just take the app, you know, your app up to them. You'll load up whatever collectible you have, you know, number 41, Todd McFarlane, number 100, and then they'll be able to sign that specific edition. So what that actually will mean is that if you then sell that collectible in the market, the signature will go along with it.
That's awesome.
I have a couple questions from the community. Not to bring up a sore subject, but many people are kind of asking about Clockgate, if that is going to be safe to use going forward or not.
Yeah, it is something that we will address. I mean, everyone knows about Clockgate now. And in fact, I'm surprised nobody knew about it earlier. So, I mean, my advice is that while it's there, you know, everyone may as well use it or take advantage of it. It won't be around for too much longer. As you guys know, you still can't buy the collectible. yeah, it's something that the development team will be addressing.
Awesome, thank you. And as far as my second question that I'm getting is, as you know, the Powerpuff Girls season or series 2 runs extremely low mints, some of the lowest on the app. But for some of the collectors, they're unable to collect some, their favorite collectibles. And I know that in the future, you guys have talked about second edition runs and stuff like that. Do you think that we could see that for a collectible series like Powerpuff Girls 2 in the future?
Well, I mean, anything's possible. With these brands, especially, something like Cartoon Network, there are so many seasons, so many iterations of Finn. There's the one where he's got his metallic arm. Obviously, Jake can transform into any shape. So we'll never release the same collectible again as a second run, just because ultimately that would dilute the market. And probably annoy everyone who has spent a lot of time and gems to get those collectibles they own. But for those low run, it is likely that we will bring out additional lines of those collectibles for other fans to collect. The other thing to consider, back in January, when we released those collectibles, you got to remember VeVe was, I think, Rhys, you probably remember as well, I think it was like 200 users. And, we never expected that VeVe would become so popular. And it was only just, obviously with the past few months that we've really realized that we need to start upping the number to cater for, not cater for, but just to make sure everyone has an opportunity to get something. Because when we do the low runs, to be honest, we get a lot of complaints coming in about, just because people missed out. So that's why, you might start to see the commons to be a little bit higher. However, there are going to be runs, absolutely, that will be much lower. Like, even the Ron English one we have coming out, he's an artist. And we still want to make sure that there is content that we're bringing out that is lower run, and is far more collectible than, say, these huge broad brands like the DeLorean. Everyone in the world knows what the DeLorean is. So that's why we mint so many more of those kind of popular brands. But yeah, like with Ron, with the Dragon Girl from Simone Legno, these ones are much lower run because we want to make sure that there is still that kind of rare content out there for people to collect.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, 6 months ago, 150 of each collectible seemed like a lot, but it's amazing how quickly that turned.
I have a quick question for you guys. When VeVe becomes available in OpenSea via Immutable, will the fees to list increase? And if so, have you thought about how the secondary extra revenue would be used to develop VeVeverse?
Well, I mean, number one, we aren't in any discussion with OpenSea at the moment. There's obviously, a lot of platforms out there right now selling NFTs on or basically marketplaces for NFTs. But as we, move forward on making our collectibles more interoperable, we will likely partner with various marketplaces. And when it comes to the fees, it's a slightly different scenario at that point, because ultimately you will own the collectible. The future of digital collectibles and licensing is that the licensor will always want to clip the ticket, moving forward for all secondary sales. And this is very new and unprecedented up till now, because, you go into a Supreme store and you buy a shirt for $500, and then go and flip it on eBay. Supreme right now it's impossible for them to, clip the ticket on that. But the digital world, the blockchain world is very different. So I don't anticipate that there will really be much in the way of those secondary trades on other platforms coming back to VeVe. Maybe a very, very small percent. Yeah, I mean, we're not in the business of sort of milking people for the rest of their life, because obviously there's going to be, you know, the marketplace fee, there's going to be the licensor fee. So if VeVe does take a fee, it will be very nominal.
I got a question. I got a question about Master Collector. Will the app activity we're doing right now, will it be rolled over to Master Collector when it does come out? And also, the VeVeverse, will it be out by the end of summer? And what's your favorite of your VeVe? What's your favorite of VeVeverse?
No, that all depends what summer you mean. Obviously, I'm down in New Zealand, so summer for me starts in November. So I guess that totally depends on where you are. But I mean, we do anticipate that at least the first iteration of the VeVeverse, you know, whatever that's going to be, will be rolled out by the end of the year. And sorry, what was the first question?
App activity, as we're collecting now
right.
and getting sets.
Yeah, historical app activity. We are collating data in the back end at the moment. You know, we did build out the sort of main infrastructure for the Master Collector quite a few months back. In fact, I think it might have been back in 2020. However, you know, some of the scoring features will change as we build out the Master Collector. But there will be certain things like, you know, the number of collectibles you own. That doesn't necessarily mean duplicates, but you know, it might be the number of full unique full sets. Yeah, like I say, I don't really want to elaborate too much on what the Master Collector is, because I know in 6 months' time, if that feature doesn't come out, someone's going to quote me saying, "You said this back in June." So
Yep.
yeah, my position on the Master Collector is that we'll be releasing information.
From the community as well, in reference to the serial killers drop that we're doing. Now, people have obviously seen that, you know, owning all 12 of those collectibles, or 13 if there's 13, will allow you to build the last fat breakfast scene. Will having that set, I guess someone's asking, will it become almost like a superset and give you access to some sort of background or scene, or is that, we don't know where that's at yet?
First I've heard of it.
Fantastic. Yeah, I kind of alluded earlier to the fact that just having them will let you build the last fat breakfast scene anyway. But yeah, that's the sort of integrations we can see later on the platform. You know, owning a full set of X collectibles gives you access to maybe a background or something like that.
Yeah, that's definitely something we want to roll out. Just to reward users, if you do manage to collect the whole set, then, you know, maybe there'll be a chaser collectible that, you know, only, and maybe there's only a very limited. So a chaser is normally a collectible that will come out, will be part of a series, but it will come out after the fact, after everything's sold out. And then, yeah, I mean, I would personally love to do something like, you know, if you've managed to collect the whole set, then you get some sort of special reward or special prize for that. We don't have anything specifically planned for the Ron English one at the moment, but it's always a possibility in the future.
Nice. I think it helps for people to just put the layers together and see sort of how many directions that these products and things can really take. So I think that'll definitely answer some things for people. Dan, how are we doing for time, mate? You got another 15, 20 minutes on this?
Yeah, I can do another 20.
All right, perfect. Guys, keep those questions coming, and I'll bring a few more people in as well. And I will just take a moment to shout out Kaki Gaijin, I think that's your username, for making those NFT superheroes. I don't know if people have seen them, but there is one of myself, Dan, and David floating around. So if you're listening, huge props, and thank you for creating those. They're pretty incredible.
Yeah, 100%. They are super top quality, and I am very happy to say that through a very nice community member and long-time supporter, I managed to get my hands on the animated version of Dan. So that's pretty cool.
Oh wow, I was gonna pick up the David one, but now that it's out in the open, I'll have to collect more.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need that. We need that hairline.
Maybe it'll become an NFT one day. Who knows?
That hairline is so prestigious and so clean. I mean,
Yeah, he is known for it.
Dapper Dan?
Dapper Dan, is that the new superhero name? I quite like that.
Yeah, I can live with that. It's certainly better than Dan Hammer. I think I got a bit of a reputation by accidentally banning a few people.
Accidentally, you reckon?
accidentally.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's keep these questions coming. We'll use up our Dan time while we can.
You guys, I got a question. Is that okay?
Yep. Perfect.
All right, so you're probably not gonna answer or anything, but as a kid growing up, we'd play Yu-Gi-Oh, and like I would just fantasize about like throwing a Blue Eyes White Dragon down and it just destroying my whoever I'm facing's card. Like, will we ever see like it doesn't have to necessarily be Yu-Gi-Oh, so you don't have to confirm or deny, but if we could get some type of like card game, will we see like our holographic NFTs fighting each other, sort of like to go back to how the OMI icon would like holographically show our ARs, or no?
It's it's a difficult line to walk down, that one, because really on one side, what you're suggesting really is an entire game in itself, and there are a huge amount of game mechanics that go into even just one thing like that. Even if it was Yu-Gi-Oh, you throw your cards down. I mean, I agree. There's nothing better than throwing down the dragon. So as a company, we really need to focus on the features that are very much around collecting and around supporting our licensors and bringing that collector experience to another level, which is obviously what all part of the VeVeverse is about, and showroom version 2, for example. So we have internally discussed a few times looking at gamification on that level, but as I say, it really is an entirely other product in itself, and I think if it was to happen, it would be something like a 2022 or beyond, just because there's a significant amount of resources involved in that. Then there's all the live ops in the game, and then there's the support around that game. So yeah, at this stage, I'm not really too sure. We will be introducing some form of gamification, but whether we go that sort of deep into it, still a bit up in the air.
Yeah, I would be good with a chessboard.
Chessboard, we could possibly do.
That would be cool.
I got a question.
Yep.
I noticed that in some of these recent artist drops, like Tokidoki, Ron English, I noticed that they are kind of putting out, like, promoting these drops. I wonder if in the future, if we would see some of these bigger brands, DC, Rhys talked about Fast and Furious, the movie coming out. I wonder if they would be, showing love to some of these VeVe drops as well. Is that something that Rogers and Cohen's is handling?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, when we're dealing with artists, it's a lot easier because they are ultimately an individual or a very small team of people. And the artists are very much encouraged to help promote the product because they want to get their own name out there further. When it comes to the larger corporations, it's very much a different story. I mean, just to give you an example, with DC, for example, DC have a ton of licensees out there who create products, whether it's under the DC Comics brand or any of the other brands that they have. You never really see DC promoting those, these other licensees. What they will promote is, the higher level, like they'll promote Batman, or they'll promote a new Batman movie coming out if that was produced by Warner Brothers. So it's not really typical that licensors will kind of shill or promote products from their licensee. Most of that is on the licensee's shoulders. However, I'm not a person to never say never. We could potentially look at seeing something like that, with some of our other licensor partners coming up in the future. But to answer your question, it's not typical for a licensor to do that.
Thank you very much. Appreciate everything that you guys do. Thank you.
Dan, I've got a quick question from Chef Dizzy, because he's having some microphone issues, so he's unable to ask this question. He says, you've mentioned several times that you don't want master collectors to pay to win only. Can you say anything to the major collectors spending the high dollars to complete sets and accumulate models with anticipation to their rewards? And also, will you value your large collectors and reward them for their investments as much as your consideration for the small ones?
So to address the second part, are people not just collecting because they love collectibles, or are they collecting for rewards? Obviously, if you with the Master Collector program, the more collectibles you have, the more active you are on the platform. As I've mentioned, the higher Master Collector level you will be able to obtain. So there will be rewards around, owning sets and that kind of thing. But as I say, this really comes down to the question that I addressed earlier, which is that, if you've got 1,000 collectibles versus someone who has 10 collectibles, there has to be a very fine balance between the master collector level that you are, because we might have someone who owns 10 collectibles, but they are literally in the app every day. They're promoting the app across social. They're doing market listings. They're a very, very active user. Whereas on the other end, maybe we've just got a whale who has snapped up all of the Donnie the unicorns, and maybe they don't participate so much in the app. They're really just there in it for the potentially in it for the investment, because collectors are wide and varied. You've got the people who love it and want to just collect it and own it, and then at the other end you've got people who are buying for investment. So that is specifically the balance that I was talking about. We need to make sure that users who may not be able to afford 1,000 plus VeVe collectibles won't be at too much of a disadvantage. However, in saying that, if you do own a lot of collectibles, then that will, of course, go towards your Master Collector program. But we're not building the Master Collector program to specifically reward people who own thousands of collectibles. Will your Master Collector level be a bit higher? More than likely, yes. But that's why I say, this is very much has to be a balance within that program.
So it's really just, like you were saying, a balance, but of many aspects of the app itself, and not just collecting.
Absolutely, yeah. You might have 1,000 collectibles, and another user may have 10 collectibles, but you could both obtain the same Master Collector level. One person with the lower collectibles is probably going to have to grind a lot harder to reach that level. But that's what I mean. It has to be fair. We can't just make it whoever has the most money wins, because that's a very, very unfair situation. It just means that whoever has the most money would then ultimately get more and more and more advantage, and then they would just be snapping up everything because they have wider access. So we need to make sure that it's very fair across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. Understandable. Very perfect. Thank you very much.
Is there
I had a quick question.
Is there, with the Amazon meeting, was that just to kind of optimize the app, or I don't know if you can mention too much on that? And then a user was asking in the chat, any update on geocaching? And I think like that just means, NFTs may be tied to certain locations and geolocations.
What was the Amazon meeting? Sorry?
Yeah, was there any details you can share there, or was it optimizing the app or anything like that?
No, I'm asking which Amazon meeting are they referring to? I'm not actually too sure.
Oh, I think it was like a LinkedIn post, and I think you just showed you guys meeting with, I guess,
Oh, yeah,
Amazon Web
yeah.
Services.
Yeah. So we were meeting with AWS, very, very different division within Amazon. I mean, basically, the whole app is run on AWS. We were in there to try and get a lower bill. Very simple.
Gotcha. So you weren't meeting with Jeff Bezos?
Jeff, that would be nice, but not yet.
So can we order no NFTs through Prime? I'm just kidding.
One day, who knows? That'd be great, right?
That would be awesome. And then another user was asking about the geo caching. Just I think he was referring to NFTs based on your location.
Yeah, based on your location, I'm not really too sure yet. That's very sort of Pokemon Go-esque. But where the geolocation services will come into play is, like in the future when you are able to attend a physical Comic-Con event, you're in a specific geolocation cordon, the Buy Now button will become available to you. So that's more likely how we're going to utilize and leverage the geolocation. Or for example, like maybe one of our licensors is doing a promotion of a new physical product that is also available on VeVe, and they're doing that at a particular retail chain. We might open up access. So, when you're visiting that store or that specific location, again, the Buy Now button will become available. And there'll be some other security measures around that, to prevent people like spoofing IPs and all that kind of thing, which, hey, let's face it, people are going to do.
They will indeed. People take any chance they can get. We might just run through a few more questions in a sec, guys. But Dan, do you want to just bring people up to speed on the Slimer giveaway? I did plug it earlier, but it's obviously taking place on Twitter.
Yep, absolutely. So I think already, I had jumped in and had a quick look this morning before I dived into work. And yeah, there's already just been so many cool posts, so many cool photos. But ultimately, we're going to sit down with the team. We're going to go through everything. I think the ones that are the most creative, like for example, if you're taking a screenshot of the Stave Puff Man in the store and posted that, your chances are going to be pretty low. But if you've done something quite cool or some creative or it's a unique kind of environment, or you've got an epic showroom, we're going to sort of sit down internally and start having a good look through. And then from that, we're going to choose 37 winners we will basically gift a Slimer to. And before anyone asks, no, they will not be sub 40s.
Good to clarify. And those Slimers will go out we'll obviously contact the winners. That will be post Slimer drop, I'm assuming?
Yeah, well, it'll have to be post Slimer drop because the system doesn't allow us to roll collectibles out until the drop date.
Perfect, just so that everybody kind of knows what to expect on that front. I think that would be great. We've probably got about 5 more minutes, guys, if you want to pepper a couple more questions in there. And I've got one about the artist alley that we might just start with as well, Dan. So people are obviously seeing some artists roll out on the platform now. So one, at some point in the future, do we officially roll out an artist alley section of the app? And two, are we looking at any specific type of artist for this kind of release, or are we looking at traditional and contemporary artists? Like, what are the limitations there?
Yeah, great question. So we will eventually be rolling out a more specific section for Artist Alley. And, that will allow an artist to have like their own bio, very similar to the way that you guys have your own profile now. An artist will be able to have their own profile, their own bio, and then underneath that, they will be sort of have their own individual works. But, before we build out, a bigger or a wider feature like that on the platform, we really need to begin to test the waters to see, we didn't really know if the Dragon Girl was going to sell because it was a very different product offering from what we had listed previously. Obviously, you know, we and Simone and Tokidoki were very, very pleased that everyone loved it. And that really sort of solidified for us that, you know, there is a demand out there to have these, you know, not necessarily just these big premium brands, but also some of these sort of well-known artists as well. And then obviously the second one we've got rolling out is Ron English. And we are in discussion with, you know, a very wide range of artists. And one of the little sort of tidbits I guess I can drop is that as part of this Artist Alley program moving forward, there will be one-of-ones out there. Will they be $89? Probably not. But the way that artist licensing works is that, you know, if you're commissioned to do a piece of artwork for a larger brand like, you know, DC, for example, you as the artist have the right to sell that original version, or so basically you can sell the one the one that you created. So we'll be bringing features like that into VeVe, where you'll eventually see artists coming on board selling a one-of-one. This is something very new. You know, obviously, as you guys know, we are a bit more mass market at the moment. You know, we want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to participate in the drops and hopefully get a collectible. But the Artist Alley program will be a little bit different in that sense, where we will have these far more limited products, which is going to be pretty cool. I think David Yu is already trying to get in there and buy them all, but I don't think he's going to have that much luck.
No surprise there, really.
Hey guys, I just wanted to get a little clarity on something that we talked about briefly earlier. So basically, if I have, let's say, 2 million OMI in my wallet before the Ethereum blockchain switchover, will I have less than that amount of OMI after I swap my tokens, but with the same value? Is that what was said?
I don't remember anybody saying that, but basically the chain migration is just something that's going to happen in the back end. Obviously, we'll be setting up token swap platforms for people to convert from the Go 20 over to the new ERC 20. But outside of that, there's not going to be really any further impact to users. I think the question you're asking is, are we going to do something like 100 to 1? At the moment, we're not going to do anything like that. It'll basically be, if you have 2 million OMI in your wallet now, and if you do, well done. It's going to be the same, you know, when the migration happens. You obviously will need to go through some sort of token swap, which we'll be communicating very heavily around how to do that and where to do that.
Yeah, just to clarify, that was from before you got on, Dan. That was a bit of the conversation, and you answered exactly as I kind of did, just to say that if there was some sort of 10 to 1 or 100 to 1, you would end up with the same value, but token swap wise, yeah, it should be pretty simple.
Yeah, we absolutely would never take away value from users. I mean, gosh, my inbox would be full of hate mail, I'm sure.
Yeah, more.
So if you can put your OMI in the app wallet, will we need to switch the token over, or will the VeVe and the app just take care of that?
We are still deciding whether we'll do some kind of automatic swap. It's more than likely we won't, because there is complications around that. And you've got to remember that the wallet in the app is, I mean, that's just an interface to your GoChain wallet. So it's not like it's a special one that we, you know, have any kind of sort of special control over. So yeah, more details to come around that.
Dan, in a later interview, you mentioned you used to play World of Warcraft, and how do I put this? Could we possibly be seeing gaming NFTs?
That is something someone asked just a little bit earlier, and my response is that it really comes down to the gaming industry, if that's something they want to do. They do obviously have a very profitable ecosystem at the moment, and my personal theory is that if that does happen, it'll be driven by consumer demand more than anything.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Possible to do a rapid fire question?
Dan, are there any more details you can give us on Furious?
On what, sorry?
On the upcoming Fast and Furious?
What I can say is that they are amazing, and the detail is also amazing, and that's about it. Sorry.
Any other, I guess announcements brand-wise coming up soon, and any, I'm sorry, I'm getting somebody's cut out audio.
Yeah, someone.
Someone's
it's you, Vic. Well, sorry, man. I'm just going to mute you because your sound is not coming through.
Well, I forgot my question, but one of the questions was, are we going to see Alfred Kahn anytime soon? I know he's probably a busy guy, or is there any update on anything with Alfred Kahn?
Yep, David mentioned just earlier that we'll be doing a video interview with him in the coming weeks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'll sort that out. And I think your question from earlier, obviously Dan can't give too much away, but Dan, do you want to maybe just mention some of the new app developments and things that are in the works? Obviously, we don't know exactly when they'll roll out, but I know we mentioned the showrooms not that long ago. Any of those kind of developments?
Yep, absolutely. I'm happy to talk about that. So yeah, we've got showroom version 2 coming out. As all of you guys probably know, the current showroom looks a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Poo is probably the best term. So we really just want to be able to enhance that experience. Make the showroom look way better, way nicer in terms of the way that it's rendered. So that's number 1 on the showroom. Number 2 is the accessories feature in the showroom is coming to the end of the development, and that's going to be awesome. That's where I think I've mentioned a few times on our previous videos and updates is that it's going to give you just a much wider scope to be able to customize the showroom and to make it very individual to you. And that means you can put down shelves, or you can put maybe you can potentially have brand logos on the wall. You could have plinths. We're even thinking about just even doing things like, throwing in awesome indoor plants in there. Just again, really, so you can customize this. You can really make it your own personalized place in the virtual world. Other features we have coming are the video is still in the works. And I think just to touch on that, I think I saw a post about someone mentioning that it was full video editing. It actually won't be full video editing. You'll just have the ability to take short form videos in the same way that you might do on TikTok. Adding a video editor is very, very complex. What else have we got coming up? We've got the ability for users to add or to choose a photo that they want to have for each of their showrooms. As you guys probably know at the moment, the standard photo for the showroom is just that pretty boring one of the back wall of the showroom. But reintroducing the ability for you to assign a photo to that, just to make it look a lot more attractive, both in your own personal collection and also when you share it. Let me just have a quick look at the development board, see what else is coming up. So one of the other features, just a very small update, is that we will be adding into the details of each collectible release what season it came out in. So you can rest assured that you're buying a season 1 or a season 2. There's a few more updates coming to the market. Some of these will be rolled out very soon. Like, for example, all of the bids that you have right now, they're kind of a little bit buried within the auction section of the app. But we're bringing that out to its own kind of section on the main market menu, just to make it a lot easier for users to sort of view and track both the payments that they have pending and all of the auctions that they're bidding on. A few other just smaller updates like sorting. What else we got here?
Showrooms, are they a fair way off?
What is it?
Blank showrooms, or the ability to place your collectibles just in AR in your lounge room as opposed
yeah,
to...
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the other one that's coming to fruition now as well. So we refer to them as empty showrooms. So basically you sort of go into this grid or holodeck-like looking room, but basically it's similar to the gallery showroom, but effectively it's just got no walls around it. So the whole idea is that you can build up a scene, and again, you know, when we bring accessories in, those accessory components in the future will include things like, you know, nature accessories or urban accessories. And what I mean by that is, you know, you might be able to put like a couple of big rocks down and then throw a tree in there, and then put, say, you know, potentially, you know, put your Tyrannosaurus Rex on top of that. Or for example, if it's more sort of urban, you might be able to bring in like dumpsters and maybe you know, a corner section of a Gotham-esque type building, so you can set up your Batman. Or it could be just you know, a big like, you know, 10 by 2 shelf type unit of which you can put all your collectibles in. And then the good thing about these empty showrooms is that when you drop them in AR, obviously there's going to be no walls or anything around that. I know people right now are getting very creative and they've worked out how to do it, and honestly, kudos, I didn't even think of it myself. But if you drag all of the collectibles from your gallery showroom outside the door, then of course, when you drop that gallery showroom in AR, then there's a whole lot of collectibles out sort of in open space. So yeah, we think that's going to be a really cool feature. I'm really looking forward to seeing, you know, what kind of scenes people start to create, especially when we start to bring in accessories and all that, all of those kind of features. I think it's going to be really fun.
Awesome, awesome. Big thank you for that update. I know that will answer quite a lot of people's questions. The Sandman, I think you've just pinged me with a question if you want to go for that, and then we might take one or two more and call it a day, guys. Or maybe you're not there. I'll ask it for you if that makes life easier. So people want to know, Dan, and this would be a much further down the line thing, but let's take David Yu's hairline as an example, as an NFT. Will people be able to use these kind of additional collectibles as, say, a Snapchat filter or something like that? Like, is there the potential for integrations into other apps with items you own to showcase them that way?
I mean, you know, my answer is always anything's possible. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know whether that will happen or not. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing that we've really ever explored. I mean, bringing NFTs into these other platforms, you know, as I say earlier, you know, a lot of these existing games or platforms already have their own kind of financial model or business model built in. And I guess I'll just refer back to what I said previously about, you know, NFTs are still going to continue to grow, and especially the interoperability, I think, is going to become more in demand. I mean, let's face it, everyone in this clubhouse probably wants to live in a world of Ready Player One. And, you know, I think that really needs to be driven by consumer demand. It's nothing really that's on our roadmap for the next sort of year or so. But, you know, always open to opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that I get that question quite a bit. I think people can see the potential there, but as you say, you know, most apps and businesses have their own established models and things they run with. So it would have to make sense for all parties before it became a thing. Let's take a couple more, guys, and then we'll wrap it up.
I got a quick question. First of all, I want to say it was awesome to see you and you know, Silent Bob or Kevin Smith with Rogers and Cohen. Are we gonna see any like iteration of kind of more things like that soon, and kind of more visibility as far as that goes? I know that people keep asking me that, and sorry if that's been asked already.
No worries. Yeah, I mean, more and more as VeVe gains popularity, you know, we do get invited to speak at many events. I can't really say how many events. You know, they do just kind of come through when they come through. They aren't necessarily things that we go out and seek, mostly because I spend every waking hour advancing the product forward. But yeah, I mean, more than likely we'll continue to participate when invited into these events.
Just on that note, guys, the NFT Tokyo event, or NF Tokyo Summit, I think is today, tomorrow. Dan, you are on June 11th in the afternoon sometime. But if anyone has missed that announcement, it's in our announcement channel and probably on our socials. So if you want to head over to, I think it's just nfttokyo.com or something like that, and register your interest, you can join that one too.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, that event was really more geared towards I guess brand owners and IP owners in the Japanese space. So it's not, you know, there's no sort of secret surprises or anything coming out. It was a bit more of an industry kind of event, really. But yeah, go ahead and check it out if you can.
Just on that note, Dan, and one question people will probably have, how are you seeing that landscape change now? Like, are we seeing a lot more licensors start to show interest in the NFT space? There seems to be more conferences popping up, you know, specifically for them.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, every day we get contacted by, you know, multiple new licensors wanting to come on board the platform. And I think, you know, really, you know, when this whole NFT thing started, I mean, I guess just to go back to a little bit of the philosophy, you know, that David and I have when building something like this is that, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we just wanted to sell a Batman to someone through their phone. But when the whole NFT thing kind of kicked off, we'd see things like, you know, Beeple selling for $69 million and, you know, all of this massive cash grabs out there. And then obviously when anything like that happens, it, you know, it attracts a lot of people because, you know, anyone who owns IP or anything like that, you know, they're looking for new ways to, looking for new revenue streams. So I think the whole spotlight on NFTs recently has really just sparked a lot of demand from people out there wanting to get into the space a lot more because, you know, honestly, 8 months ago, no one was contacting us because no one even knew what an NFT was unless you were sort of deep in the crypto world. Now that that's changed and people see that there is opportunity, and you know, a lot of people watch what's happening in VeVe. You know, they see how fast products sell. You know, they see how active and awesome the community is, and I think that is also a huge driver for them to also kind of get into the space. And you know, let's face it, you know, VeVe is a really cool new way to participate and collect your favorite brands. So I personally believe it's going to continue. You know, David and I, really our mission is just to create a long-term digital collectible industry. Right now we're going through a bit of an NFT hype. And that's why the focus for us is not just about buying and selling NFTs. You know, anyone can do that on any platform. In fact, you know, every single week there seems to be a new, you know, peer-to-peer NFT platform coming up. But really, you know, what's going to bring longevity into this digital collectible space is the ability to do cool stuff like, you know, the AR. I mean, we've had, I think it was more than 120,000 photos taken in AR through the VeVe platform, the virtual showrooms, you know, interactivity, the ability to create your own scenes, create your own videos. These are the experiences that surround the NFT that, you know, what I really believe is going to continue to propel this because, you know, just selling things peer-to-peer is a certain audience and that will always be around. But, you know, for us at VeVe, we want to make sure that it's very much experience oriented rather than just that peer-to-peer.
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, I think that's what gives us as a product and really as an industry that longevity. So yeah, it's good to focus on the user rather than just another revenue stream or things like that. We might take two more, guys, and then let's call it a day.
I have a few rapid fire questions with a 1 or 2 word answer.
Go for it.
Awesome. For any games implemented, can there be like an NFT trophy per season for the top scorers?
Not in the works, but great idea. I'll write that down.
All right, second one. Assuming the VeVeverse has land, kind of like Decentraland, will you be dropping the land to buy just like the NFTs, where the more rare ones are closer to whatever hub is being sold at the moment?
Details will come on that.
All right, third one. Is it possible to do, or is it possible, will you be able to do, instead of drops to buy from the app, instead, like throughout the VeVeverse, you just drop like Easter eggs that's how people get the NFTs for the moment?
100%.
And I'll do two more. I have like 8, but I'll do 2 more. So we were talking about avatars before. Can that just be a new category of NFTs? So like not normal NFT or static interactive. Can another one just be avatar? So we can just use the NFTs we buy to be the avatar?
There's quite a significant issues around licensing with that, and not only that, but some of the collectibles that we produce, like the Batmans, they aren't rigged with a skeleton, so you can't do a walk cycle or run cycle or anything like that. So there will absolutely be avatars coming that you will be able to adorn with some kind of brand content. And there's a possibility that some of the collectibles we release will be able to become an avatar. But yeah, that is a much bigger operation than just releasing, sort of standard avatars that can be customized.
All right. Someone was talking before about on the other meeting about getting a free NFT when you join. Could that be season dependent? So the season you join, or every season people get a new free NFT that's of the logo, the VeVe logo or something?
Yeah, I mean, it's something we're considering. So yeah, I guess watch this space. We're still thinking about that one.
All right, last one. Is there going to be any category for historical stuff, like any like replicas of any something like from NASA or the first moon landing rockets or anything like that?
Yeah, great question. Actually, we are absolutely exploring the historical category. I think there's a lot of things out there in the world that people would never get to own and potentially never get to see, but they can have a beautiful, high quality digital replica of that. Then yeah, I think that's something cool that people would like to collect.
Nice. All right, guys. Well, thanks for those rapid fire questions. Very much appreciated. Dan, have you got anything else you'd like to leave people with before we wrap this up for the day?
Yeah, just again, just a big thank you to everyone. I mean, there's so much support in the community. To be honest, I did have quite a few lols over the Quid versus VeVe. Just be nice, guys. Be nice.
I was going to mention, I saw on the panel that NFT Tokyo, that there's somebody might be on the other side of the panel. So if we need to show up, we will, as the Ecomi team.
No, be nice. He's everyone is nice people. We've met the CEO there quite a few times, and you got to remember, Quid has been around for 5 years. They were a pioneer in the space, and they've done a good job. But yeah, as always, I just want to give a massive thanks to all of our community. I mean, there are so many people out there that just creating amazing stuff. I mean, Rhys, we've got a channel set up in one of our Ecomi Discord where every day there's just the most epic memes. I mean, whoever did the one that was the selfie song, with all the bombshell girls, man, that was just top class. I loved that. So yeah, and just everyone for their support, especially over the past couple of months. Obviously it's been a bit of a challenging time internally, just to deal with the growth. But we really are kind of coming to the end of that now. The team's been built out, the app's been refactored to certain degrees. For the next wave that we've got, we'll more than likely have coming in. So yeah, just really appreciate all of the support that you guys give us out there in the VeVe community, and I hope that we can continue to bring out awesome stuff that you guys like.
Awesome. Nice final words there. Thank you very much, Dan. And I'll extend the same thanks to everybody, guys. Thank you for streaming. Thank you for making all this kind of content. It's obviously helping all of us to get that information out there. Thanks for showing up to these chats every week too. I'm glad we have figured out the capped number issue. It seems that way. And just for anyone who stayed to the end, I'm trying to get Robbie from Immutable. He's I think the CEO and co-founder of Immutable sometime next week into one of these Discords as well. So just keep an eye out for that.
Thanks so much, everyone. You have a great day.
Cheers. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. Wow, guys, that was a long one. So thank you for everybody tuning still in the chat here on YouTube. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you guys for staying with me. I had 3 screens. Literally, I have 3 monitors right in front of me, and a lot of people were blowing me up on every platform. So I appreciate all of you guys. Seriously, you guys are awesome. I hope we got a lot of. I try to ask as many questions as possible here in the YouTube channel as humanly possible, without obviously with respect to the other speakers and the other people asking questions. So I appreciate you guys too, man, and I hope you guys have a great day. I'll try to stream the NFT Tokyo event as well. But as you heard Dan say and mention that it'll be for more IP holders. So it may just be kind of like one or the other. I think a couple summits ago, or pretty much the last summit, but possibly I'll stream that as well. I'm really excited for the Immutable, one of the co-founders, I hear Rhys was saying, if I heard him right. So that will be awesome event to stream. I'll be really excited for that one. And where Immutable goes. So we all need to be pumping up Immutable, man. Immutable to the moon. And anyways, that's all I got for tonight. Thanks, Kyle, and all involved. True Tech Junkie, you're welcome, man. Appreciate you. Thanks, Split Sniper, for being on here this long. Aldrin, thank you so much, and everybody who has been here. So went to Tupac NFT. That would be actually that would be epic, because they already have like this hologram Tupac thing, from years past. So that would be cool to have an NFT, man. Be able to. Anyways, I digress. I'll see you guys later, man. Thanks to you so much. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace, love, VeVe, guys. Be authentic. Be like an NFT and be authentic. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Hit the bell. Join the YouTube membership if you like more stuff like this. And you get a sweet badge in the chat here. And the longer you're a member, you kind of evolve to have a cooler badge over time. So I just want to give a quick self-plug there. And I'll see you guys on Twitter. Don't forget to follow me on the Twitter, man, where I update you guys on news and everything VeVe as well there. That's pretty much all I got. Hope you guys have a good night or good day, depending on what part of the world you are in right now. And peace.